So today's going to be a short video. I promised I wanted to make it short. Today I want to talk to you about a few things that you're doing inside your practice that I think you should just absolutely stop. So many times I get on the calls with a lot of chiropractors that are thinking about taking me on as a coach. And one of the things I always ask them is, what are they doing inside their office right now that they think is growing their practice? And a lot of times they'll tell me, asking for referrals, free spinal examinations, giving discounts on their first visits. And as soon as they tell me something like that, I know that there's something wrong with their practice. I know that somehow, some way, they believe that that's a way to build a business. And you know what? Nothing could be further from the truth. That is not how you build your business. So if you're doing those things, stop. I'm telling you, just stop, really. I'm trying to save you years of headache. Not only does it position you poorly, but it just does not attract the kind of people that you want inside your office. It's not going to attract that person or that patient that you want to turn into a long-term patient, or that patient that's going to continue to see a lot of value in the services that you offer and come again. What it will attract is that patient that's looking for that freebie, for that discounted service. They're going to come, they're going to grab their service, and they're going to leave right away. You know, I have a patient that's been coming to me for a real long time. She's an absolute sweetheart. And she still goes to other chiropractors around my neighborhood. And I'll ask her, why do you do that? She goes, well, I usually go to these Groupon chiropractors. And I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, you know, those chiropractors that offer the free massages, the free body wraps, or the free barometric chambers, or the discounted laser. She told me last week that these red laser beds that they place on you to help reduce body fat, attracts them. You know, it's used to help lose body fat, but she goes to them because she gets the discounted service. And as soon as she gets the discounted service, and it's time for them to offer their plan of $1,000, $2,000, or $3,000 plan, she's gone like the wind. And she's on to the next chiropractor that's offering some type of discounted special, whatever it is, free adjustments, exams, box of chocolates, box of chicken, whatever it is, she's there. That's what these things attract. That's what these giveaways, these discounts actually attract. So just stop it. I mean, just stop it, really. It positions you absolutely poorly. It doesn't position you as, the top and the cream of the crop inside your profession. I think it attracts the wrong people. I'm not saying it attracts bad people, but I'm telling you that it attracts the wrong people that you want to have inside your office. Now, don't get me wrong. If you want to keep on offering discounted services and you want to spend thousands of dollars on advertising every single month, and just to be able to get that 1, 2, 3 people that you might be able to close on that big package, then you know what? If that's the way you want to run your practice, great. Then go ahead and run your practice that way. But that's not going to create any type of longevity, and that's not going to give you any peace of mind. It really won't. Instead, here's my suggestion. Here's what I think most chiropractors, here's what I suggest you do that most chiropractors are not willing to do at all. Number 1, clean up your office. Look around your office, clean up your office where it needs to be cleaning, and create a much better experience inside your office. That means that if you're 20 pounds overweight, then you got to lose some weight. It means that if you're going to your office with a golf shirt that's got stains on it, you know what? You need to wash that thing. Okay? If you got a white lab coat, let's say, and that white lab coat is wrinkled and it doesn't look professional, well, you know what? Throw it away. Go get another white lab coat, one without the stains, one that doesn't smell like tuna or what you had for lunch. It means that your front desk, if you have staff there, they should be dressed appropriately. It means that you should look around your office to see what needs to be improved. Maybe the carpet, maybe you need a fresh coat of paint. Maybe your adjustment room is looking kind of dingy. Maybe your adjustment itself is the same adjustment that the chiropractor down the block is offering. That needs to be changed up. You need to first look within if you want to grow your practice. Now, first thing is you need to look within your mind, right? Get your mind straight. That's another conversation for another time. But after you've fixed your mind, then you've got to look within your practice. And that experience has got to be a good experience for that patient. Now, I know years ago, you didn't have to do something like that. Why? Because insurance paid a lot of money. And all you needed was a few new patients to be able to have a very, very successful practice because you were charging $300 or $400 a visit because insurance was paying for everything. But you know what? Those days are gone. Nowadays, you got to work. I'm sorry, you have to work. And so you got to position yourself as something that is unique within your area, within your community, meaning a service that no other chiropractor offers if you want to charge a premium price. You've got to position yourself as being not just unique, but being above the cusp, better than others. And it's not good enough to just be mainstream anymore. You've got to be better than mainstream. I'm serious. Take a look at some of these chiropractors out there that are doing these videos on social media. They look amazing. They look better than mainstream. Some of these chiropractors are charging $300, $400, $500 a visit. You might think that's crazy, but these guys are crazy like a fox. They're laughing their way to the bank, and they've got peace of mind in their practice. They're not even taking insurance anymore. Why? Because they have positioned themselves above mainstream. Right? They're not riding the wave. They are creating the wave. You see, chiropractors and gurus today are teaching us, we need to be mainstream. Bullcrap. We need to be above mainstream. That's where we need to be. And so that means that you can't be afraid to let a patient go. Just let them go. If they're giving you a problem, let them go. If you've treated them and they felt better, let them go before they cut themselves off. And there are still coaches today teaching chiropractors to offer long-term care packages. Close the patients, sell them, close them. I mean, that's crazy. There are that's crazy. People don't want to be closed. People want what they want. They want to get better as quickly as possible and as affordable as possible, and they want to go to the best person. And so that's what you should be offering. It's very, very simple. And so in order to do that and to be able to attract patients like that and develop the practice that you want, you got to provide incredible value to your patients. You got to provide more value than what the patients are laying out to pay you for your services. They got to be walking away saying, man, it should have cost me more money. Totally serious. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what a good practitioner does. That's how you develop a very valuable practice. And so the value that you offer has got to appear to be more than what they are paying. And that value has got to be, you got to provide that value while they're in their office, while they're in your office, and while they are outside of your office, which means you still need to maintain communication with them when they are outside of your office. Look, I'm telling you. And then you've got to use the laws of supply and demand to create more value in your practice. And so I know it might seem smart to open up 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week, but that's not smart. It's not. You've got to make yourself less accessible. I know that sounds hard to believe, right? Because most coaches teach you got to be more accessible to your patients, but no way. Let me tell you a little story. Years ago, way back when, in the day, this is going to let you know how old I am, there used to be a nightclub in New York City called Studio 54, and I worked there as a bartender when I was a teenager. Think about how crazy that was, okay? Now, Studio 54 was the hottest nightclub in New York City. I mean, the hottest nightclub. Every actor, every rocker was there. I'm telling you, man, Studio 54 was a place to go to. And it was owned by this guy named Steve Rebel. Steve Rebel was a marketing genius. Unfortunately, he's not around anymore, but he was a marketing genius. I remember when I was working inside his club, we used to be inside his club, and there would be a line of people that were outside on the street of 54th Street and Broadway, lining up to get into the nightclub. And he wouldn't let them in just yet. And so And then if you looked inside the club was empty. And none of us were making any money. The bartenders weren't making any money. The waiters weren't making any money. The coat room wasn't making any money. The front office wasn't. Nobody was making any money. We used to sit there like bitch and moan. We were so pissed off we weren't making any money. Why was he doing this? And then Steve, in his infinite wisdom, he would walk outside with one of his bouncers, right? And he would stand in front of the crowd. And Steve would go out there and he would, as the line was getting huge, and he would pick and choose the people that looked good enough to be able to come into his nightclub. And he only picked a handful of people, and he would do that every hour on the hour. Now you think to yourself, that's crazy. Why wouldn't he just let everybody in? Well, it's because he was crazy like a fox. He was creating demand inside his nightclub, because as he came out and picked and chose, he created supply and demand. So there was more demand, more and more demand for his nightclub. Could he have put 1,000, 2,000 people into the nightclub? Absolutely, he could have done that. But he knew it would have diluted the demand. And so he created very, very limited supply. And so that's why it's important for you to work 3 days a week. You know what? Maybe even do what I do. Work 2 days a week and raise your prices. Because as you create a limited supply of yourself, there's always going to be an abundance of people if you're marketing properly, and if you're providing great value. There's always going to be an abundance of people to want to come and see you. And the limit, if you limit the supply of yourself to those people, you're going to charge more for your services. There's going to be more value for your services. People are going to want to come to you more, and you're going to create higher value and higher demand for your services. You know what? I know it sounds completely counterintuitive, but that's the way it works. And look, I'm telling you something. Owning a practice is owning a business, okay? And maybe you didn't get into chiropractic to become an entrepreneur, but it doesn't matter because you're a chiropractor now. You own your own business. That makes you a chiropreneur. And so my suggestion to you is follow these simple principles. Follow them to a T. Know the laws of supply and demand, and do less. Do less in your practice, and you'll end up getting more in the long run. All right, guys, that's it. I hope some of this resonates with you. I hope you listen to some of this. And if you need help building your practice, shoot me a message, and I will get back to you. I'd love to have a chat with you. Take care. Peace.